In 1936, when Dale Carnegie put together how to win friends and influence people and put together that little document that became a world-class bestseller, still is 80-some years later, success looked very different for most people. This was just coming out of the Depression, and of course success would be, did you have a job? If you had a job, was it a good job? That would be success. Or if it's not only even a good job, but maybe a great position with good money and great opportunity, that would be success. Well, for many people, that still is one of the real hallmarks of success. And of course, what is true today is true every day, and that is everybody needs to take time to figure out what success means to them. You see, we get all kinds of hey, this is what it takes to be success. This is what you should do to be successful. This is what success looks like. And you could paint that picture as other people do for you, and you could paint that picture as perhaps you do already. But what I've discovered is that most people really don't know what success looks like for them today. And part of the reason for the great resignation after the pandemic COVID crisis is people all of a sudden had some time to think about, well, do I really want to go back to work? And do I want to go back to that work? Well, what do I want to do with my life? Well, unfortunately, too many people just spent that time thinking and wondering, and unfortunately, there was too much boredom, too much alcoholism, too much other stuff that came out of that leisure time. But if you are one of the smart ones who use that time to evaluate your life and your business, then you are on the right side of history. When I first began my performance coaching, a woman said to me after she brought me into her little company that was a franchise of a much larger company, and she said to me, I want not to be the CEO of this company. No, don't want that at all. I don't want to break the glass ceiling of this company. Not at all. What I want to do is I want to be the CEO of my own company. I don't want to break any ceilings. I want to break barriers. And that's where I'm at today. Perhaps as we will discover that you climb the ladder of success or are climbing the ladder of success, and all of a sudden you find that it's, that old cliche, it was against the wrong wall. So with that in mind, may I encourage you now to listen to what we said about 6-7 years ago on how to make good friends and make your mark in the marketplace, and see if it still rings true for you in these rather chaotic and, in some cases, crisis times today.
Well, what does true success look like today for many people? Well, in the past, it was pretty traditional. You would find a place where you could work, where you could hopefully make a contribution, and then you would climb the ladder. And hopefully you might become a chief of something, and then, of course, you would get that corner office, and someday you would be the boss. You would have then spent your life and your career climbing the corporate ladder. Now, for many people, that still is an ambition. However, I think that perhaps today we need to have a little broader look at what it might mean to climb the ladder. Let's just think about that. First of all, there is that old saying is, I spent my life climbing the ladder, and then I discovered that it was against the wrong wall. I got to the top, but when I got to the top, it wasn't really where I wanted to be. Well, that can happen. And I have met in many of my years of business performance coaching some people who wistfully have had a bit of regret I remember a woman who said to me after she just had retired, where she got involved in a nonprofit service organization and was just having a blast. And she said to me, I don't regret what I did, but you know what? I think I should have done this 20-some years ago. I think I would have been much happier. Now, we're not going to deal in regrets, and we're not going to say what ifs or if only. But right now at our stage in our life and our career, let's at least begin to think about the options that might be there. Certainly, the traditional road to success, work hard, move up, find a position, make a contribution, get a promotion. Okay, there we go. That may be what you want to do. However, maybe success will not be coming to a place where we get that promotion and become a chief of something with a corner office. Maybe the success road is not to go up, but to go out. Oftentimes, I have worked with very successful women executives and business leaders, and many of them are entrepreneurs. And one woman said to me, Stan, I'm not interested in breaking the glass ceiling for this company. I'm interested in breaking the glass boundaries so that I can have influence of my own with my own organization. That's what I want you to help me do. I am not interested in being boss of the big deal. I am interested in being boss of my own deal. Again, just let that sit on your head for a while. Now, can I suggest that as you are looking as to how you will make good friends and make your mark, that there might be a few other things that you should put into your portfolio of things that I better be aware of, or I better think about, or perhaps I need to be on the lookout for. Remember, successful people are always observing, watching, taking notice of things, and looking not for the next job, but for the next opportunity. Again, just think about that. Now, let me tell you just a few things that might be helpful to you. First of all, very successful people, I have discovered, usually think of themselves as self-employed. I remember one woman said to me, because we were actually doing a workshop about how you could work the corporate ladder, I mean, how you could get promoted. And she said to me, and this is partly something that really helped me a number of years ago, Stan, I'm not interested in the next promotion here. I'm always looking for the next opportunity out there. And then she made this comment, I work for them. No, I work with them. I'm viewing myself always as self-employed. I'm self-employed. I'm my own business. I am in charge of my own career. I'm climbing my own ladder. And I'm certainly going to serve these people well. They are a client. They are a customer. They sign my paycheck. But I view myself as my own company, my own creation, and I'm forging my own career. I'm always in charge of me. As she said, it's you incorporated, it's me incorporated. Well, I've met a lot of people like that, and I think there's some wisdom there. I've also discovered that perhaps we need to adopt what I call the MSI cubed formula, okay? Now, would you write that down? MSI cubed. And here's what that means. I'm always looking for multiple streams of influence, impact, and income. I can't afford to live knowing the way the world works, where my entire impact, influence, and income comes from the company that I'm attached to right now. Multiple streams of influence. I'm trying to have my influence in a variety of ways, not just in a specific company or maybe just in a specific industry. I'm trying to find ways where I can have impact, where I can make a difference in multiple ways. And that may lead me to always be exploring multiple streams of income. Now, there are a variety of ways that you can do that as you work, quote, your day job and whatever other opportunities or interests you have. In fact, one of the retirement philosophies that we're now telling people is don't count on a retirement income from your pension, your Social Security, or your 401k, or whatever savings you might have. Use your time to find things that you love to do, that make you happy, that can be a stream of compensation for you, where you can actually be doing the wonderful life that retirement living may have. But in terms of your hobby or your vocation, there are things that you can actually do in your retirement years, whatever that might be. And some people say never retire, keep contributing, and find a way to make some compensation. So perhaps you want to think about how you could do that. I also am encouraging you to think of ways that you can always be adding value to the way the world goes. Always be thinking of how can I perhaps solve problems. Now, I know one gentleman who just simply enjoys sitting down, and part of his career strategy is this. He says, I'm always saying, is there a problem out there that I perhaps could solve? Now, he was a gentleman who actually got in somewhere on the ground floor of Microsoft, and I suppose, as he said, I could have been a millionaire if I would have stayed there, but I discovered that's not really what I wanted. So he went out and started his own business, I think 2 or 3 of them, and he's looking for ways where he can do something that is solving problems. And he said, I'm always looking for problems to solve and seeing if there is a business opportunity there. That's a good mindset to get into. Now, it's always good to be looking for things you love to do. You know, the proverbial, I'd love to own a restaurant, I'd love to do this. It's good to look at things you might love to do for the business you're in. But it's also good to look for the problems that you might want to solve. I also encourage you now, rather than hanging around with all of the corporate types, okay, hang around with what I call CIS people, okay? Look around for creative, independent spirits. I'm always looking for people like that. You can just kind of tell. There's a creative streak in them. There's a sense of independence about them. And, you know, they honor their spirit, maybe even their soul. They have that kind of a sense of immediacy and presence and energy, but also some transcendence in them. I'm looking for people like that I can kind of hang out with. Creative, independent spirits. And maybe you want to be one, and maybe you want to hang out with people like that. Can I just suggest that as you're looking at your life, that you go back and remind yourself that the goal is not necessarily to be a corporate person at the top of the ladder. Perhaps the goal might be to be an independent spirit or soul who's creating their own way, creating a way where they can make a contribution, but they're always looking for the opportunities where they can do the most good in the most ways. Now, of course, that kind of living can be fearful. That kind of living can be scary. You bet it can be. And that's why, of course, we talked about learning to live with less fear in your life. Well, I hope this lesson 9 will help you to think differently. Hey, we're at lesson 10. That's going to be our last one, with perhaps a slight little epilogue, just like a good show, and we'll continue. I'm so glad you're with us, and I hope you're learning ways where when you live this way, you will be a good friend, and you will attract people of similar interests and passions and loves, and that's perhaps how you will truly make your mark.
Okay, there it is. I said it all. We're done. And so you just let that stuff sit on your head for a while, particularly as perhaps even today I'm flowing into the weekend. And we'll probably put number 10 together over the weekend. We'll see and see where that goes. Maybe we'll repeat it just for you to hear it again after the weekend break. And perhaps a little bit of an epilogue. 3 words that perhaps you need to know and do if you truly want to make your mark, if you really want to make good friends, and actually have your definition of success. So until next time, I'm Stan Houston. Please reach out to me. We are ready to be the coach to help you and your colleagues in your organization make your mark in the marketplace. We're going to help you self-express and market yourself and market your business so that you can reach a greater audience. So, good ideas will lead to more influence, to greater impact, true income, and of course, that proverbial good success, maybe even great success. All the best and blessings. May you do well in your discovery as to what true success will be in the future, starting right now for you. Bye for now.